All right, welcome to our webinar, Strategies for Raising Your Prices. I'm Dr. East. I'm so excited to be here. I have so much good information for you today that I want to dive right in and get us started. Let's do that. I have a presentation that I will email to all of you at the end of the session today. And then again, we will have questions and answers at the end of the section. So write down any questions you might have and we will go from there. And again, you can also send me questions via the chat, which I'm watching and I don't see anything. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Prices and raising prices, setting prices, strategies on that is a question that is asked probably from 99% of the people that I work with. I work with practitioners on strategy, motivation, inspiration in a number of ways, and prices always come up. It's something that really drives home. And so I want to start today with this picture, and it is a picture of Westy. I want you to meet Westy. Westy is the nickname of my brother. His name is West. So for some of you that are like, never met me before, did East change her name to go into Chinese medicine? That is not the case. I was born with the name East in the 1970s, and I do have a brother named West, but that's a whole other story, a whole other seminar, and this is about you and prices and how we can get you to a price level that feels good. So let me tell you about Westy, the West Highland Terrier dog that we had. Our friends gave us a purebred, beautiful West Highland Terrier puppy. It was worth about $500, and because they were such dear friends of ours, they gave it to us for free, but it did not get along with our family. So we posted it for free because we got it for free, and we got 0 responses on this beautiful purebred with papers puppy. I think a lot of people thought there must be something wrong with it. It's free, something's wrong, and there's nothing wrong. So then we posted it for $500 and we had a flood of responses. Everybody wanted this dog all of a sudden. I said this little king represents perceived value because in fact, somebody paid us $500, bought the dog, even though we had named him Westy, they named him King. So I want you to think about that a little bit. There's a little bit of perceived value with our prices. Keep that in the back of the mind. That's not one of the strategies. It's just something in a unique way that I could introduce myself to you. The next picture of somebody crying, right? And I love this quote. I'm so upset that I raised my prices, said nobody ever. In fact, everybody I've worked with have said to me, why didn't I do it sooner? Or I wish I would have done it sooner. The other quote below here says, this is not another cry it out method. I have 2 small children and sleep has been an issue in our family for a while, since they were born actually. And so we read all the books on sleep training, and for me as a parent, it was really difficult for crying it out. It was like, I just couldn't stand crying it out. It was just so painful for me. So I remember I was perusing Facebook and I saw an ad pop up that says, this is not another cry it out method. We promise we can get your kids to sleep without a cry it out. So I bought it. I bought it right away. And within about 5 minutes of watching the program, I realized, yes, it was another cry it out method. However, they had gentle ways to have the child cry it out and then sleep. And so this picture and these stories kind of represent and are perfect for our topic because many of you are really scared. Many of you, it's painful. Many of you are crying because you don't feel good about the prices and you're afraid and you just feel stuck. And so how it pertains to you in prices, guys, this isn't another cried out method. However, it is, you're just gonna have to do it. Like for raising prices, you just have to do it. Just like sleep training my children, I eventually had to let them cry it out. I had different ways to do it, so it wasn't as painful for me, but I just want you to know that I don't have anything in here that's like tricky or magic. It's simple as changing maybe belief systems or giving you some strategies to raise your prices, but eventually you're gonna just have to do it. You're just gonna have to do it. We're gonna talk about 5 things today. And I'm sure what you really want to hear are those 5 pricing strategies or 5 strategies for raising your prices. But before we do that, I want to prime the pump a little bit with some more of the mindset work. And that goes into, what are you selling? What is it that you're selling, from treatments to sessions, self-worth to value? Then we'll get into those strategies. I talk fast, so we're going to get into those strategies really quickly, I promise. And then how do we let go with grace? Letting go with some of those patients that maybe don't want to pay our prices. How can we let them go with grace? I have some ideas for you. Question, what are you selling? Hint, it's not acupuncture. It's not. Guys, we're not selling acupuncture or cupping or moxa. This is what we're selling. We're selling a person's ability to play golf again. We're offering rather, the ability for somebody to conceive when they've had unknown infertility issues. People are sleeping again better because of us. That is what we're offering our patients, our clients. We're offering natural facial rejuvenation. How about running that marathon for their first time? Getting through it. Sometimes our patients come to us and they say, oh, it's been my life goal to run a marathon, but my knees just aren't doing it. Or the man that comes to you that wants to golf, his physician is saying, we think we need some surgery. So I want you to start to think about, you're not selling acupuncture. That does seem hard to raise prices, because when the person looks at you and you says, $150 for acupuncture, well, that's not what I'm offering you here. I'm not offering you that. I'm offering you something else. And so I want us to start to think about that with our mindset. What are we offering? These end results. And what are each of those end results actually worth, right? So if our golf patient has to have surgery, that's going to be well over $10,000, even in just his co-pays alone, plus work off. So if you were charging, just say $120 per session, and you get this person comfortable, our golf patient, comfortable, able to play golf, prevent that surgery with just 6 treatments. 6 treatments for him is $720. That's a lot less than a $10,000 surgery. Or that woman that's been trying to conceive, and she comes to you for 12 sessions, that's 3 months. And at $120 a session, that's about $1,400 versus $60,000 for IVF. A lot less expensive, isn't it? Or our facial rejuvenation. A facelift is $10,000 or more, not to mention Botox, lasers, all these other modalities. And we can offer this to people at a fraction of that cost at a much healthier intervention. How valuable is it for somebody to get a good night's sleep? Even just one good night's sleep can make all the difference. So $120 versus $500 or more in whatever other things that they're searching out to try to help them sleep. And then running your first marathon and having us help them through it's invaluable. So the mindset here, the thing to think about is, we're not selling acupuncture. We're not selling these modalities. We're selling and we're offering the outcome. So start to think about that a little bit, and that starts to help us go, oh yeah, that's actually $120 isn't really enough, right? We're offering so much there. Also, it's not about you. I know we always think it is, but what if, and the picture I picked here was on purpose, it's a man selling lamps and candles, right? So we're offering people these end results, and this is what we're charging for those end results. And so if we could have it be more like that, it's the value of my session. A session with me lasts anywhere from 45 minutes, maybe up to 65 or 70 minutes. It really depends. Depends on, some patients want out of there at 45 minutes. Their time is valuable. They don't want you keeping them there for 75 minutes. Some patients like the extra time. So I like to always state that my sessions are anywhere between 45 and 75 if I am practicing that way. Or I can say my sessions last 45 to about an hour typically, and they can include different modalities. But the mindset here with this picture is, what if as we're offering our sessions, our services, our offerings to people, we did it with as much making it about us as this man selling lamps. I offer these packages. You can buy a series of sessions with me, 10 for $1,200. And we don't take it so personally. I listened years ago to somebody about raising prices, and this is what they said over and over in their workshop. And it was taking it away from our own self-worth. I would say 99% of the population, okay, maybe 96, has an issue with self-worth. And so when we are charging 120, 150, 180 for a session, we go, oh gosh, am I really worth that? It's not about you. It's about what you're bringing to the table. It's about those end results that you're offering people. People are dancing again. People are walking without pain. That's what you're offering. Take the focus off of you and put it more on what you're offering. Kind of like, I'm offering these lamps. You want to buy my lamps? You can't afford my lamp? Okay. Because guess what? When that person leaves, a person that can't afford your lamps will show up. In the dating world, I always tell people, and this will be more when we talk about, I'm planting a little seed about how do we let go with grace. I have a lot of friends that are kind of like dating on social apps, and they're saying, I really want to meet the right one. I said, we got to cut out all the social apps if you want to meet the right one and get really serious. And I always say this, you can't bring a new car in the garage if one's already in there. So think about that later on. If a patient comes to you and says, oh, I can't afford your sessions, okay, we'll talk about how we gracefully let them go. But we can't keep them in our garage if we want to bring another one. So again, it's not about you. Another tip that isn't in the presentation, and it's here for you live, is years ago when I graduated school in 1999, and I worked for a wellness center that charged a lot for my services, and I was having issues with it, and the director did some muscle testing on me and found that I did have a little bit of self-worth around the high prices of our services. We did the tapping method way back then. I can't believe it, but we did tapping method on self-worth. So if some of you are still struggling with that, and you know what, Eve, I think it is from some self-worth issues, there is help. Hypnotherapy, different modalities. The tapping methods seem to help to just get to those core beliefs if there is anything tied around self-worth. So enough of that. But again, the last comment on that is it's not about you. It's about the value. Let's look at the value. Okay, now you can look here with me, and typical sessions with you that last 45 minutes, maybe up to 90 minutes. I don't know how you practice, but they don't always, but they can include a number of modalities. That's why 4 or 5 slides ago, I said, we're not selling acupuncture, you guys. We're not. We're selling East Asian medicine. We're selling Chinese medicine. We're selling medicine, and it can include acupuncture or acupressure. That alone, just that modality is definitely worth, it's valuable at $120. You're doing a lot of nutritional coaching, Eastern and Western nutritional coaching. I worked with a nutritional counselor years ago, and she charged $175 and $150 for each session, and you're offering that within one of your sessions. You give lifestyle advice. Life coaches these days charge about $150, some about $80 or $90. You can adjust these prices here, but I want you to get an idea and see in front of you the value of a session with you. Fitness recommendations, herbal prescriptions, supplement guidance. Some of you give them free herbs, free liniments, free this, free that. Positive thought alignment, aromatherapy, massage, or manual therapy. Each of those modalities alone has a value to it. You're offering it all in one. Back to a comment I made that time is valuable. Your time, my time, everyone's time. Some patients have more time than others, and they enjoy a 75-minute treatment, but many of our patients are on the clock. They're busy. 45 minutes an hour is all they have. If you can give them 4 or 5 modalities in 1 hour, you're saving them time, which is valuable. So that's another thing to keep in your mind in terms of the value of what you're bringing to the patients. There's additional services that I didn't even add that many of you probably do. Many of you bought expensive lasers and you add that to a session. Reiki, gemstones, tuning forks, jeweled ear seeds, gua sha, cupping, moxa, liniments, reflexology, all of these things in one session with you. So when you look at this, and I want you to have this, because when you start to build your websites, build your marketing, put every one of these bullet points down, and you can even copy this and show a prospective patient. Listen, in one session with me, it can include up to all of these modalities, which is well over $1,100, and I'm only going to charge you $400 for a session with me. And some of you are like, $400? Let me tell you, friends, I've been out for a long time. And I have met people that charge anywhere from $40, which is painful. Remember the crying baby picture? That's what I see when I see $40 a session, up to $600. Yes, I know a man in New York City charges $600. I think it's like $599 all day, every day. How can he get $599 for a session? Again, he's not selling acupuncture for $599. It's a session. And he brings with him different modalities that he have learned from different trainings. And I know a woman in San Diego that was charging $300. She is featured in my book, More Than a Treatment. MJ, she has raised her prices. Guess who encouraged her to raise her prices? Moi. Because what she does in a session that lasts about 75 minutes is next to magic. She can get people recovered and healed faster in such a shorter amount of time than anybody else, that she's now raised her cash only price to $400. So will people pay it? Yeah, they will. Word of mouth. Word of mouth, people will say, this person helped me in 3 treatments, and wow, I can't believe that. So I want you to keep some of these things in mind as we go forward and start to go into the strategy section. Before we talk about the 5 strategies I have for you on raising your prices, first things first, make sure the time is right to raise your prices, okay? Make sure you have happy patients, you have a full practice, everything's going well. Please make sure that things are stable before you're like, I'm gonna start raising my prices, right? So that's important. Make sure that things are going well. You've got happy patients. You don't have a list of bad Yelp reviews. That's the first thing. Clearly communicate the change to all your patients. How would any of you feel if I said, okay, hey, thanks for showing up for my webinar. I know I told you it's free, but I'm going to send you all an invoice for $25 at the end of this. You would kind of all go, whoa, 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 what? So you can use it in a newsletter, send them and say, hey, I'm going to be raising my prices, poster in your office. You can say it verbally as your patients come in. Hey, just want to let you know, next year I'll be raising my prices. Or on your website, you can have it there as well. And then there's no apologies or reasons. It's that simple. It's that simple. It's your business. It's your decisions. You owe nobody an apology. When we get into the strategies, one of the things about giving people a grace period, letting them know that it's coming, you can start to show some enhancements on your website. You could say, my prices are changing, and maybe we've changed the way that I offer. You're no longer selling acupuncture. You start to really frame everything that it's not that I'm changing my prices or raising my prices. I've restructured the way I present my services to you. I'm offering sessions now. It's not necessarily an acupuncture treatment. I offer sessions because I just finished my doctorate and I learned so many things, or I've just finished this other certification, and I'm incorporating it into a unique way of offering East Asian medicine. And so I'm selling sessions now versus treatments in the past. So it's not like I'm raising my prices. It's I've enhanced my services, and these fees reflect that. So no apologies, guys. You don't need to apologize, and you don't need to tell people reasons. Oh, well, I felt like I needed to raise my prices because I can't pay my bills and I'm getting really resentful at people. None of that. Just be quiet. Keep it quiet. Strategy number 1, all right? First thing is, some of you are like, but East, I love this one patient. I don't want to raise the price on her. Guess what? Back to that last bullet point. It's your business. You can raise prices on all new patients, but existing patients get to keep your loyalty price of what it is now. So you can do that, all new prices. You can just say that. You say to all your patients, hey, I love you guys. I'm not raising prices on you. I just want to let you know, I love your referrals. But for anybody that comes in, I've made the decision to raise my prices. And so this is what the new pricing will be for anybody that comes in, but I will honor prices with you in perpetuity. Okay, all new patients get the new pricing. Now I have here what that would be good for. Who is that good for? That's good for when you move. If you're moving somewhere, that's perfect for moving. And so that means you're moving somewhere new. Like when I moved from San Diego to Orange County, people were paying more where I moved my practice in Orange County. And it was really easy for me to open up with a higher price. And any patients that would come see me from San Diego, I let them keep the old San Diego pricing. So it's great for that. Or if your practice is growing and you're just getting more and more new patients, it's great. You kind of trickle out some of the older patients and what they're paying, and all new patients pay the new price. So that's what that's good for. Strategy number 2, give a grace period. This is good for all your strategies. This is good for all of you. All of you came to this because there's something inside of you that wants to raise your prices. Do me a favor, do yourself a favor. Raise your prices. Raise your prices. Please use one of these strategies. I'm definitely, genuinely just sending you all the courage I could possibly give you to just do it. You're going to feel so much better, I promise. But give them a grace period. It's like with my 3-year-old to say, we're leaving in 10 minutes, we're leaving in 5 minutes, give everybody a grace period. You can give grace periods to existing patients only, give grace periods to all patients. 1 month is enough. It really is. You can let people use up a package if they have that with you. 1 month seems to be the going kind of grace period. Some people just do 2 weeks. I get a haircut by this place called Bambino's for kids. It's $20 for a haircut. I took my kids in last night to get haircuts, and on the counter said, starting January 2020, our haircuts are going from $20 to $25. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Does that mean I'm not gonna go to Bambino's? That's a pretty big percentage jump, isn't it? From 20 to 25. They didn't go 20 to 22. I'm still going to go there. You know why? I always thought 20 bucks was cheap to wrangle my 3-year-old in there and wash his hair and cut it and blow dry it. Oh my gosh, I'd probably pay him $40. Okay, but don't tell them that. So 1 month is enough. You can put the little sign up at your register if you want, on your website, in your newsletters. So give a grace period. Strategy number 3, add value. So maybe you're finishing up a certification. Maybe you just finished up the doctorate program. That definitely adds value. You're more valuable. Maybe you did tuning forks or lasers certification 2, 3, 4 years ago, but you've never formally announced it. And so we can formally announce it. And then again, restructure the way that we offer our services. It's like, I'm not selling acupuncture treatments, I'm selling sessions with me, because now the sessions include everything I learned in East Asian medicine. And then I studied under this person, and I have Dr. Tan's techniques, or I just finished this certification, and I'm adding that to my practice. So you're adding value, new modalities. Make sure you communicate this. Amy says, I haven't started practicing yet. I'm trying to decide what price to start at. I've got one for you. This strategy, number 3, is good for many years in practice. You've been in years, you haven't raised your prices, you know you've been needing to do it. You've just finished some new training, some new techniques, you've got some new gizmos in the office that you pretty much are sure you're going to use with everybody. I have a client that I work with up in Orange County who buys literally every gizmo that comes out. Tens of thousands of dollars on gizmos, all the fancy lasers and technology for our medicine and all the training. And so this person definitely has been raising their prices, 1, to pay for all these gizmos, but 2, because they're adding more value, definitely adding more value. The session with this person is worth a lot more. Raise your price strategy number 4. Bundle your sessions into packages. I've been kind of hinting at this strategy. So instead of selling treatments, we sell sessions. And what you can do is, instead of selling single sessions, is bundle. So many of you carry herbs or liniments or supplements or different products that you use with all your patients. You're probably giving them away. And so instead of giving them away with these sessions, so not only are you charging too little, you're giving away free products during it. What if you create 3 ways a person can engage with you for sessions. They can come in and just get your basic session, which includes all of those bullet points that I had a few slides back, or they can pick the second one, which is a package price that includes 10 sessions with you or 12 sessions with you, plus all the herbs to support that. And so then you factor that in. Now you're moving stuff off your shelf, and you can have a VIP package that's like sessions with you, the longer sessions with you. They get all the supplements, all the herbs, and maybe some topicals and other products. So you can create beautiful packages. And so now instead of having a one treatment with me is 1 hour and this is how much it costs, you create these programs and you say, in our medicine, 3 months is about what it takes to work with somebody to get them pregnant, to get them pain-free to play golf. All of those, what we're really offering people are those end results. We know it usually is about 3 months. And so we say that because I know this, I've created these programs to make you successful and to make our work together successful. And I know that when I add herbs with the sessions, it's even more powerful. You get better faster and your results are more lasting. And so then this is a great strategy for you. Number 4, raise your prices by bundling your sessions into packages or programs. And so then they'd have to sit down and do the math on 10 sessions for this much to go, did you raise your prices? The 5th strategy I'm going to offer you is gradual increases. This is great for somebody that's just starting out early in practice. This sets the precedence. Let's say you've been in practice 1 or 2 years and you just say, okay, I'm raising my prices. I'll probably do this every couple of years. It's just about the price of a cup of coffee. Last time I went to Starbucks, true story, I bought coffee for me and a couple of friends. It was like $32 after I got all the fancy things. So if you raise your session price by $30, that's almost a cup of coffee or a trip to Starbucks. So a gradual increase is fine. Just make sure that's in your strategy and you do it regularly every couple of years. I think every 2 or 3 years is fine to say, oh, every couple of years I raise my prices just gradually, the cost of living, and somebody goes, yeah, it's small, it's not that big. So this is a great strategy for somebody, like I said, starting out, you're setting the precedence, your patients start to go, oh yeah, every couple of years they raise their price, but it's, it's not much, it's just a little tiny bit. And so that's one there. I did get a private question over here saying, well, I'm not really in practice, so I'm kind of unsure how to even set my prices. And so I have a strategy for you, and that is right here. Here are all of the strategies I just gave you summarized. And then here is one that's the +1 for any of you that are just starting out, start out high. It is so much easier to reduce your price by giving them a discount or a loyalty program or offering them a coupon than it is to raise your prices. So if you're just starting out, look at the landscape around you and start high. Start high with your prices. You can always reduce them. Start high. That's my tip for you. This is you and your patient. I don't want this to be you and your patient. That's why I have this visual. I gave a story when I was doing some marketing for this webinar. I had a patient that would show up in the fanciest clothes right off the runway, beautiful Mercedes, and she would haggle me every week for the price. I started to resent her. That is not good for anybody. Her healing is impeded. My ability to enjoy my work is impeded. If you have any of those feelings, it's time to nip it in the butt and adjust your pricing so that you no longer have this kind of feeling for patients. I swear, and I still continue every once in a while, have somebody that's kind of, nagging me about prices or something, yet they have no problem spending $300 on a pair of jeans or walking right off the runway. Of course, those are the people that we just kind of have to gracefully let go. And I will give you ways to do that. So make sure that if this is the case, we find a way to let those patients go, because this is how it should be. You and the exchange with your patient should feel like this, chummy. You should feel good. You should feel good about the reciprocity happening, what you're giving them, what they're giving back. You're both living awesome lives. That's kind of how we want it to be. So this picture also represents the patient that you just love and adore, and you just think to yourself, they probably can't afford the price increase. Guess what? It's your business. If you want to keep the prices the same for this person, then you say, hey, listen, person, favorite patient of mine, my prices are going up, and I'm going to keep my prices for you the same. I know a lot of people that have done that. I know a lot of people, and that's fine. Can you do that? Is it legal? Yeah, it's your business. Letting go with grace. I just saw the time. I don't want to keep you too much longer. This is supposed to be a 30-minute webinar, and I want to get to some questions. So how do we let go with grace? Number one, part of your strategy of raising your prices is look around and find some people that you might be able to refer. Any patients that you think aren't going to come with you, have that ready for them. Okay, so make sure you have a number of referrals, that maybe somebody that you know that will treat them for a lower price. Have that ready. You could have that ready in an email, or even maybe a little handout, because when you kind of verbally or through a newsletter let your patients know, I'm raising my prices. If you get any backlash, oh, I can't afford it, then you can say, I totally understand. Now, here's your decision. Here's a treat. If you love this patient and you really would like to keep seeing them, you have the choice. You can give them a loyalty discount and keep them at their old rate, or you can say, I totally understand. I love you so much, but I am raising my prices. If you would like to see somebody at a lower price, here are a referral. But if you change your mind, I'd love to treat you. Okay, so that's the person. You have two choices there. Keep them at their old price, tell them how much you love them, but you are still raising your prices. Or there might be that patient that this is a great chance for you to let them go anyway. So in that case, you just hand them the referral and you say, I totally understand. And so I have prepared for you 3 or 4 referrals that you could shop around, and they are at prices that you're looking for. And then just let it go. Don't, number 2, tell them how much you love them and how much you want to keep them. You just give them referrals. But again, with those patients that you love, you could just tell them, I really love you. I just really hope you'll keep coming. And so number 3, let them think about it. Don't make anybody make a decision right there. It's awkward already. So it's just very graceful just to say, I've raised my prices. And if they say, oh, I don't think I can afford it, I understand. I would love to treat you. I have a list of practitioners that are around my old price, and you're welcome to try them. But if you change your mind, I'm here. And so you can schedule online at any time. You can text me. We'll get you scheduled in. You think about it. I like to do that with people. I like to let them think about it. I don't pressure them for any decision. Are you going to book? Like, I've raised my prices. You think about it. I love treating you. I love the work we've done together. You think about it, and then let the universe do their work. Let the universe do the work. Number 4, hold your line. Hold your line, because it goes to this. You need to be patient. I told you about 96% of the people I work with, it's about pricing. 96% of those people, once they've raised their prices, they start calling me, oh my gosh, oh my gosh. This lasts for about a month. I'm so scared. I think I'm losing this one. I think I lost this one. Oh my gosh. But after about a month, they feel good. They're like, it's like getting a new jacket that feels kind of tight. You're not so sure about it. And you wear it around, and then everyone's like, I like that jacket. It looks good. And then finally it feels comfortable. Prices are like that tight jacket. They might not feel good at first because of that self-worth, and you're still struggling with this. Hold the line, be patient. Usually within a month, you start to feel better. This is a true story. I had a girl who came to me for coaching, and we raised her prices. She was very scared for at least a month. She's like, I just feel weird about it. I just feel uncomfortable about it. I'm thinking about going back. I said, don't do it. Hold your line, hold your line. And so 2 months later we talked, and she goes, I'm totally comfortable. And she goes, East, my patients have been telling me that I should have raised my prices sooner. That's what my patients are telling me. I said, yeah, I know. I've been doing this a long time. So just be patient with it. I would say give it at least 3 months. Will you lose some patients? Possibly, but not always. I've had patients come back, the ones that are like, I can't afford that. I wish you can. And then they find a way to afford it. So be patient. Be patient. That is the end of the presentation. This presentation will be emailed to you. Those bullet points are juicy, can be helpful for you. Also some nice reminders for you. There's other ways we can stay engaged with each other. I do monthly lunch and learns like this one, so I'll have another one next month. You can sign up on my website. Many of you already have. I do masterminds every month on leveling up, taking your practice to the next level. And I have specialized masterminds coming out in 2020, product development, getting published, packages and programs, how do we put those together, and content. And then I have a big event in January called Recharge. I'd love to see you. Many of us need to recharge our batteries. You can check that on my website. Any questions you have, email me. east@dreast.com. I love your feedback. Please send it to me, whether you're watching this as a recording or you sat here live with me during your lunch break. I want to thank you for joining and connecting with me, and I hope to see you again real soon. And now I'd like to open it up to questions. So you can unmute your microphones, I believe, and ask me questions. Thoughts on posting prices online, do or don't? I like it. I like posting. So the question here came in the chat. What about posting prices online? I like it. I like it. Unless I have a couple clients that work with very exclusive VIP clientele, and so they don't put prices online because that would be almost unheard of, right? So unless you're working with patients that are going to pay, fly you on their yacht and bring you into their home and celebrity type patients, then I would say, yeah, put the prices that way. You filter right away. But along with the prices, put all of the bullets that are included in a session with you so that it's so overwhelmingly compelling that the person's like, wow, this person does all of that and that as well. I can get almost 2 sessions in one or 2 treatments in one. I go to my nutritional coach, but this person offers that. I can get my nutritional counseling and my East Asian medicine with this person. Bingo, because time is money. Time is valuable. So I would say, to answer your question, should I post it online? I would. Then people are committed. The girl that I talked about, she changed all of her prices online, and she's like, East, nobody is bulked. Everybody's still booking online. I said, I know. So what other questions do you guys have? Again, you can turn on camera, microphone, or you can type them. Are we allowed to do packages? I thought in school they told us we weren't allowed because we were considered. I am not a lawyer. This is not a law class. You are allowed to offer your services however you wish to offer them. There is a man, Ken Hoffman, Dr. Hoffman teaches in practice-based learning, as I do in PCOM, in the doctoral program. And he has a whole lecture. If you go to his website, I think he even has some free material on how there is a way to offer packages. You can offer packages. You just have to be really clear about them. And if somebody breaks the package, how is the money refunded and so forth. So I offer treatment plans, but curious what the best practice. Yeah, it's a program. I don't call them packages. I call them programs. I have a program, and the program lasts about 3 months. And the program gives you 12 sessions with me along with all these other things. So I hope that helps. That's one strategy on selling the packages or the programs. For me, I love the program because the person is going to probably buy it anyway, and you're helping them carry them through their health, and you're combining things that they now don't have to go and, like, if you offer supplements in your programs, they don't have to go look for those at Whole Foods or buy these herbs online. It's all in one. You're saving them time, money, headaches, and trying to find this stuff. Programs are great, especially then you can track the efficacy of the program and get testimonials from the programs. And now you're selling a program and your practice is full. When I was practicing in Orange County, one thing I loved about it is I knew who was coming in every week. I would have a couple new patients, but for the most part, people were in programs. They were coming to see me. I let people pay as they go as well. So instead of selling a $1,400 program, I say, I sell a program, it's 12 weeks or 3 months, and it comes out to be about $140 every time you come in. I just charge your card. I keep it on file and Square, and I charge it every time you come in so that it doesn't have to be even awkward of me putting a new Square or running their credit card each time when they come in, or having it be so in the space of that new pricing. What other questions might you guys have as it comes to pricing? As you're coming with here, what if you are in practice with another acupuncturist? Should you have the same price? No, so if you're in practice with somebody else, should you have the same price? No. Do you offer the exact same things? That all is something you should talk about, decide together. Many times when you're in practice, you're with somebody with a different level of expertise, different offerings, different way of treating. If you're treating one person every hour and you're just all in on that person, that is way more valuable than going and getting a session from somebody who is seeing 4 people in that hour, right? And so it's so different, all of that, but I don't think you have to have the same pricing. It really depends. Maybe the clinic director says, all my acupuncturists get this much for a session. Well, then you might have to play the rules that way unless you can work with that director, but I don't think it's necessary. The other thing to think about as you guys are thinking of more questions is something that occurred to me as I was putting this webinar together, and that is, ask yourself, are you willing to pay full price for something? Interesting. Like produces like attracts like. So one of the things that I had to do with my own thought process is I had to stop being that bargain hunter. Don't get me wrong. I still like a good bargain and I still hunt for it, but I am definitely willing to pay for services or sessions with somebody at their full price. In fact, I have often with different people that I know aren't charging enough, or I feel like they aren't, I give them tips or I give them extra money on the side. And I say, I just, you're worth so much to me. I love it. And I want to give you more because I'm getting so much value and I feel like you're not charging enough. And sometimes they'll cry. Sometimes it'll kind of kick in like, wow, you're the 3rd person that's done that. Maybe I should raise my prices. So think about that. Another thing where this applies is if I ever have somebody that owes me money, I always look at my own life and say, do I owe somebody money? And usually I'll find a bill that I like, a LabCorp for $20 I've been putting off to pay. And I'll pay that LabCorp, and energetically it's so weird, but all of a sudden the person that owed me money, without me emailing them and badgering them, they all of a sudden pay. It's so weird, the energy. So that's another thing that I didn't say at the very beginning. And so anybody that stayed in kind of for these trailers are kind of getting that. Energetically, how are you when it comes to prices? Are you willing to pay somebody's full worth? So something to think about there. Just to share, when I raised my prices, I raised $20. That's a nice gradual. But those who I wanted to reward for loyalty, I picked my top 5. I sent them a special message letting them know I only raised theirs 10. That is an awesome strategy. I got goosebumps. Thank you for sharing that. They were grateful and I still made money. I love that. That is something, if you don't mind, I'd like to add that to this program. And that's just to say, you can raise your prices for all new people a certain amount and then raise the prices for your existing patients a smaller amount. That makes them feel good. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. That's why I have a pen and paper. Raise more for new and less for existing. I like that. That's sweet. That's very sweet. That's a nice strategy. Make your loyalty program, your loyalty patients feel good. All right. Any more questions? Let's see. We have a few people still here. I'll hold out here until 12:45, 12:46. Well, I'll tell you what. If you come up with some questions when we hang up, you're like, oh, why didn't I ask this question? Just email me and I'll answer it. You know why? It's a win-win for all of us because I can enhance future material for a mastermind, working with somebody. So, and I love helping. I really, really do. So I mean that when I say, send me your feedback, questions, or requests to email. If I don't respond, I might've lost it. Sometimes on the phone, I delete things with some fat fingers of mine. So if I don't respond, send it again because I've probably haven't seen it or I went to spam. I want to wish you all a wonderful Friday and weekend and a happy holiday. Excuse me. I hope to see you in 2020. I mean that. Come to my event in January, Recharge. This might sound silly, but it's not. I am offering you an incredible experience. If you have questions about it, let me know. Otherwise, please keep in touch with me. And until we see each other again, bye for now.